Hello everyone. I am Fran Jones. This is Javaris Jones. And yes, we have some people that y'all have not seen. And they are my dear brother and sister, Pat and Ella Norris. Say hello to everyone. Guess what? We are now City on the Hill.
All four of us.
All four of us. So we will be coming to you all by stream of YouTube, and we will be coming to you all weekly. We will be having discussions about life, about the Word of God, and just practical things to get us through those days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say for later. What this is?
Okay, so I'm sorry, but that's how excited we are, y'all. Like, I am super excited. I know all four of us are extremely excited to just be able to have this time to share just who we are, who God is through us, just and be real, right? We just want a place where we can be comfortable. I feel like over the years, and I might be getting ahead, but over the years, we have been able to just take our mask off, and this is the place where you, everybody who is joining with us, you can come and you can take your mask off and you can land here. We love y'all here, and that's what this is. This is all love, real talk, all God, but still real talk.
Absolutely. This is a safe space. Any question can be asked as long as it's appropriate. Y'all know how we roll. We're gonna keep it real, but we're gonna keep it clean. Okay?
But with that being said, we are all friends. And I'm getting ahead of my own question. We are all friends. So this ain't Javaris a friends stream, this ain't Pat and Ella stream. This is literally just us. This ain't about us. And so, Pat, for we get into it, Pat, you got anything?
I mean, I guess I could say it's a long time coming. I know we've been wanting to try to do this for a very long time, but of course, things comes up, people move, and got duties and everything, and far away, and then coming back, and then still far away. But it's always been love, man. I think it's kind of cool. I hope I don't get ahead of ourselves, but it's cool that our children are great friends, but we're not really as friends. We really treat each other as family. The friend tag kind of died like years ago. Mm-hmm. So we've been family for a very long time, and everything. Seeing, everybody just grow up. Like I said, with our children. And then with ourselves also as a couple. So, but I'm glad to be here.
Happy to be here. Hey, all right.
Here we go.
So
that's him for real.
So let's get into it. This is our first episode. The title for this is "This Ain't Normal." This ain't normal what we doing. So where did we start? So we already started talking about that. Where did we start?
Oh.
No.
So I'm gonna keep it a buck. We were at church. I wasn't looking for no new friends. I really wasn't. I wasn't trying to be involved and be in community. I just wanted to go to church and leave. That's what I wanted to do, because at that time I had already experienced some things in the church, and so I was like, this next church, we're gonna go there, we're gonna work, and we're gonna leave. That's what we're gonna do. So I guess we were going to worship together. We were going to the same church. Our kids had already befriended each other in the little nursery, because at that time they were in nursery. Literally
11 years ago.
Yes. So I kept, they were on the praise team. Pat and Ella were on the praise team. That's not me and Javaris' thing. I did the welcome here and there, but I kept seeing her. But I was like, she already seemed to have had, they had already been established there. They had already had their community, and I didn't, know how I was going to fit into that.
Hold on, I'm gonna throw in. We just came from a different church too. So they were already at we gonna say the name at Strong Tower, and shout out to Strong Tower. And we came, so we were new, and they were already established. Go ahead.
Right. And it was during a time too where me and Javaris were just diving into our gifts, like what our gifts truly were. I thought about it one day. I was like, dang, that's when we were like on the cusp. And so I kept seeing Ella. And Ella, to me, I'm bubbly. Ella was looking like every Sunday she looked like that. Like she just had a resting face. So I wasn't going to speak to Pat and not speak to her, and vice versa, because it already seemed like they was like Velcro. So I was like, And so...
Time out. Now, I promise you, we didn't plan this. We had the topic. But now that we talk about it, I remember thinking about it. It's your story, y'all's story, but right, this short lady and this dude, like they literally were together all the time.
Like they color coordinated.
Yeah.
They came to, their kids was greased down when they came to church. Their granddaddy went to church, and I was just like, okay.
And they knew
people.
So,
they were in it. Our son had already fell in love with them because they were a part of the youth thing. So we already had like a little trust in them. So it was like I just did not know them. Like I didn't have a conversation with them. So Javaris was actually on a TDY, and I had to go up to her, Lord Jesus. And at this time, I had to tell her something. What I had to tell her, that ain't none of y'all business. But I just had to tell her something. Okay? And so I kept questioning, okay, God, is this you or is this me trying to make a friend? Because I know me. So I was like, oh, no. I don't really want to tell her that. Is that what you want me to tell her? Long story short, it was after worship service. She was already looking how she was looking. And come to find out, I know the backstory of why she was looking the way she was looking. And she had on this little hat. And so this particular Sunday, I wasn't stacking like that. I was like, my husband out of town. I got these kids and I need to go home and cook what I got. So I was like, I hope she can divert from that and come. So I walked up to her. I said, hey, I need to talk to you, but I need you to come to my house.
Pause. And I don't want to tell a lie on accident, but I do think either it was that day or the week before. It was Sunday, but you was like, I feel like I need to talk to her. And I was like, I don't know who that is, so whatever.
Right, he was like, I don't know. I was like, right, I think I need to talk to her. But I said, okay. I don't want to be befriending folks. And we knew. Like, I don't want to, have folks just jump in there. Anyway, so I had to go up to her. It was after church. Pat was waiting. Granddaddy was waiting. And they was ready to go. But I said, I really need to talk to you. My husband is out of town, but I need you to come to my house. I said, you could bring the kids with you since they're friends, but just don't hurt me when you come over there. Because I really got to tell you something. For real. Like I told her that. Because I didn't know her. She could have bust me upside the head. So my gate was, bring the kids with you. She ain't going to do nothing to me if the kids come. They came. And I told her what I needed to tell her. We did pray. We prayed and we talked about the word and we just got to know each other a little bit better.
And this was your initial interaction?
This was our initial interaction.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Fran is definitely the historian because all of them details, I remember the conversation. Well, no, I remember the approach. I remember her telling me I look mean and she was scared to say whatever to me or whatever. And I was like, for real, me? So that made me feel some kind of way because I was like, dang, I'm up here looking like that and I'm supposed to be praising the Lord. So she had me question myself from that point. But yes, I remember the impact of the conversation because I was like, how you know my business? Right? So I was like, she couldn't have known what she had to share with me unless God said, go and tell her X, Y, and Z. So I trusted her from that point forward because I trusted who sent her. I knew she wasn't just coming at me with no foolery because I'm like real quick, like, Nope, because neither one of us was looking for friends. I'm not a quick to friend you type person. So I understand her reservation in the approach because she must have read that, right? So I'm just generally not that type of person that would just jump right into some kind of friendship with somebody that I don't know. But between her and I, it was instant. And it felt like we had been friends for a long time. Mm-hmm. So when she and I were inserted in each other's lives, it was like, where'd she come from? Yeah. Who is this? Like, who is this person that you now all of a sudden are talking about, or she talking about me all the time? And it was like, it was instant.
But remember, before you finish, when she did tell you to come, I was like, I don't know, you should come. I don't know that lady. I don't know what's happening. What's happening here? Well, Patsy told me to come. I was like, you sure you don't want me to go with you?
I was like, no, I think I'm gonna be all right. But I did say, I was like, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you. If it go left, I'm gonna call you. But I told him, I did share with him, like, yo, this person came up to me. She said she gotta tell me something. I gotta go to her house. Pat being Pat, he thought it was weird. But I was like, I gotta hear what she gotta say. Like, I'm interested now, because, like, who does that? Like, who comes up to you out of the blue? But I did share that with you, and I was kind of like, I was on the reserve, but I just felt inclined. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta know, like, what she got to say. So when you did say whatever you had to say to me, I felt assured and I felt comfortable because of who sent you. I was good from that point on. We was locked in.
And we was trying to, and then with the church part, we actually was coming from another church as well. Well, we actually came from another church to go to Strong Tower shortly after my mom passed. And that's how we end up at that church. And then I think we already knew, because I'm being honest, it was like a whole great migration that came from this one church that came to Strong Tower. Yeah. It's like this great migration. It was like, what the heck is going on with all these people? But we remembered the youth pastor that was actually there at the church, and he started because we actually at the church we was at started the youth ministry there, and then when he came in, he kind of gave us some free reins to kind of put some things in place to help us out and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool to have him and have that experience, because it was like the first time we even did it. So so when we seen them, I was like, okay, Air Force man. I was like, okay, he here. I was like, with his wife, with his children. I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah. Hey, Pat, I don't even remember if this was before their conversation. It had to be before or during that same time. But remember, we met at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, y'all did? Y'all met before?
Yeah.
Yeah, so because we met through the youth pastor, I remember. So I met him. He's like, yeah, I got my partner here from Strong Tower. He's a cool dude. I'm just, me. I'm like,
what's up? I'm like, all right,
yeah. So Pat being Pat, like, he's striking up convo, and I remember us talking afterwards, and I was like, oh, you pretty straight. Lo and behold, that's your wife who talked wife. And I don't want to skip ahead, but going to each other's house, and I'm like, y'all know me, I was last to the party. And I'm like, I wasn't 2025, I was 24. So I'm like, why you keep going over there? Like, what is happening over there? And you taking the kids too? So you're like, you talking about her husband said he wanted to meet you, and I'm like, all right, like, cool.
Yeah, I'm coaching this dude, like, they good people, I promise you. Like, I promise you, I gotta. And I used to always like be like, I gotta go see the kids. Like, he used to be like,
and I'm like Like she immediately went
Yeah.
from no friends to I got a friend I see
Yeah.
all the time. I'm like, what?
Like, y'all, it was crazy. Like our kids was eating breakfast together and they went to separate schools. We look back at it and so much transpired in such a small amount of time. So much happened.
Hold on.
Like
What month did y'all meet? Because I'm trying to do quick math.
we met in July. We met in July but became friends in August.
So August, and we end up leaving in March.
The
So
next
in
year.
8 months.
Yep, that next year. Yep. It was really short, yeah.
I met her mom. Her mama probably thought I was crazy. Miss Sheila, oh my gosh. Like we was looking at Young and the Restless together.
That's all it took.
And my whole thing
She
is
know
you get
this
past her,
story.
you good.
Yep, that's all it took. She was like, I like her. I like her. She likes stories too. I like her.
She just
Hold
dropped
up.
the kids
Hold
off.
up.
I'm folding clothes.
All right, cause y'all know how we get. So I'm a gracefully, cause we just gonna be us. But so that's the initial meeting. How do we get from 2014 to now? What do you feel like is our foundation? Some things that like just as friends, family. What is our foundation?
Well, for me, I think that because when we started really spending time with each other, it really seemed like we really see the like our foundation was kind of like the same way. It's like if we had left our children with y'all, we knew they was fine, they were safe. If they got in trouble, y'all would have got on them, and vice versa. And I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just we knew that like they had like certain interests that would have interest them. Like I'm not a gamer. The last game I played was Super Nintendo, and that was years ago. So with my son Elijah, Varus and my son had some kind of common thing. So I was like, okay. Yeah, the game, it was kind of cool. Me and Irvin, we had some things that we shared similar with each other, and I think also when we did youth ministry, we kind of just got to know all of the teenagers that was there by this time, and everything. And their daughter Jada and my daughter Mackenzie, that's
Two peas in a pod.
they two peas in a pod. And Bryden, he was there, but we loved him. So I think for the main thing is that our foundation were like the same. I think the cool thing too is what everybody would know is that Javaris and my wife are similar, but his wife Fran and me are similar. And it's like a yin yang of both of us. And I think for some reason it just worked and everything. It just kind of fit for some reason. I think also, maybe I'm going.
No, you said, I was wondering if he was going to say the same thing that I was thinking.
What?
Because the word that come to mind when I think about like our connection is like, and it's been like a common theme throughout the years, is standard. Like meeting another family that has a high standard for family, right? For your children, for your marriage. Like, I respected that Varus was kind of like, man, who these people? Like, wanting to know, like, who you going to see all the time? And I didn't get offended. I was like, he got every right to be concerned, like, where his wife going with these kids and you going over here all the time. Like, I respected that because he establishes a standard the same way that Pat did for our family. And it was like, they're going to be fine. Like, once he get over here, he going to be fine. He going to be just fine. But I like that we share that commonality, that we believe in family and we go hard for our family. Like protecting that standard, making sure that this is defined. When I say we go hard, the four of us go hard. So like Pat is saying, like when they come over our house, they know it ain't gonna be it ain't gonna be too much of a difference, right? And the same thing when they are with y'all. So that's the main thing that hits when I think about how we started being able to have that common foundation. And yeah, like we built this community out the gate and not even knowing to call it that. It was just it just was. You know what I mean? Like when you don't have to force something, you can appreciate it more. You didn't have to work to have it built up, but you got to work to keep it. And we'll get to that later. But just knowing that it happened, you know, people say all the time, like, I want organic, authentic connections with people. Yeah, like me and friends say all the time, like, it's a God thing. Like, we can't really fully articulate or explain how it happened other than God did his thing and we still together.
I was hesitant, so when I get over there, I'm me, but I'm still watchful, because I'm like, why is she so intrigued? Okay, so I seen him, cool, he's cool, but I don't know her, Ella. And we joke about Ella kind of, you know, she reminds me of me, right? Like standoffish because I'm watching you. So to see her at home be open, I was like, so she's not what I thought, which if she was, that's cool too. But so Pat is Pat, like my wife, open, hey, like, bro, do what you want. But I see the same thing from Mella, so I'm like, okay, so I can't be the only one that's uptight. So I'm like, all right, I'll show a little bit. They accepted it. Okay, I'll show a little bit more. They accepted. When I say show a little bit, meaning like, you know, being a little bit open, talking, whatever, you know. If I'm like, hey, I ain't gonna walk back there because y'all room back there, I'm gonna stay back here. French is walking back there. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna stay right in this living room. And it was okay. I understand that. There's no judgment. Where other people in the past like, why he looking like that? Why is he this? Why is he that? So I felt accepted. So now I can be authentic. It was like I can be me. And then when we started getting into conversations, that's to me is what did it. It was like, we can talk about God. We can talk about sports. We can talk about anything. Anything.
Hey.
I'm like,
hey, dog, remember that time you was at the apartment and we was talking about music and the police officer came?
Oh my gosh, y'all. They were so loud. Like,
hey.
That's how real it is. Like, that's how passionate those conversations get. Like loud.
yeah. I think that for me, I was like, I was happy, and I'm gonna be honest, to have found a couple that accepted my husband, whether he spoke or whether he didn't, and didn't come up to me and say, why he looking like that? Like, I got tired of that as a wife. Like, accept my husband, accept his answers, allow him to be him, and then we gonna be cool. Cause I'm gonna be cool either way. Like, I just got tired of doing the explaining. And because of, it's nothing wrong with my husband, FYI, it's his personality. But a person normally will gravitate towards a person who is smiling, that's natural, than a person who is not. That does not mean that that person is not happy. It's just who that person is. Ella wasn't happy when I saw her with that hat on. I could tell you what Ella had on all the way back then.
What did you have on?
But I was just so happy.
Said she the historian, because I don't know what I had on that day.
Yes, you had a hat on, Ella. But I was just so happy that it worked. Like, it worked, and I was like, okay. Even the kids was like, when Javaris would come, they would still be like, hey, you know, and it wouldn't bother them. And it was kind of like they just knew who he was. Like, that's Uncle Javaris, like, you know, but they never felt any type of way. I think that just from out the gate, like you said, just that foundation, we've always prayed together. We've always talked about the Bible together. We've always talked about, okay, what y'all think about this? You know, the kids are growing up. What you think about this? What do y'all think about this, about marriage, job, everything? You know, we kind of grew up together because we were in our 30s, like our early 30s when we met each other.
Y'all was in y'all 30s.
Here he go.
It's good here, boy. It's good over here, boy.
This year.
We chilling in the 40s.
Come over here, boy.
But no, seriously, like we just out the gate, like she said, we just had a connection, and then you find things out about people, and then me and Pat found out things about each other, and that really like solidified our brother sisterhood. And it was just like, it was natural though. It wasn't like we going to search for something. We try to pick your brain. Let me check off the check marks. I mean, because it's a lot of stuff that Pat and Ella them do that ain't on my check mark book. That's how I say that this is all God. Because naturally, friend, we wouldn't have been friends. Like, I would have found something, and he could tell you that, and I would have been like, "Hey, we just sit back, sit quiet, don't say nothing. We just gonna move this way."
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this because y'all said it, and it literally leads to my next thing. We talked about this, the personhood, the relationship we all have as friends, as family, brother, sister. But God ordained this, and so in that, what has God done through our relationship?
He redefined family. That's me. That's mine. He gave me a new sense of how to identify what family really, really is, and what it is to be in a divine connection with people. Like we use that phrase, divine connection, loosely these days, but like to actually experience it and know, like, nobody could have did this but God. Because you hear me and Fran expressing like we're very similar, very different, but we had the same notion, like, I don't want no new friends, I wasn't looking for that. And here we are, and both of us have a tendency to be like, all right, I had enough, I'm done. Like, you do one thing, you out. Like, both of us have that tendency, but yet here we are. So just allowing God to redefine what family was in my mind, and accepting that family isn't only your blood relatives. We have literally become family, and it's natural. Like, it's just a natural thing. Like, when I say I will, y'all know me, I will fight a flea and a fly and whatever else, especially about my boo Irvin. Like, I will fight down. So it's like you don't see that every day. You know what I mean? You don't see that, and I'm glad that's the title, because this ain't normal. You just don't see it every single day, where people are embracing one another who knew nothing about each other from the jump, but we call each other about deep stuff. We talk to each other about deep stuff. We talk to each other about surface stuff. We talk to each other about in between stuff. Like, it's everything. And I was thinking earlier today, a lot of times you feel like, especially if you're in the forefront of something, you feel like you gotta perform a lot. Like, you can't just be you. Around y'all, it is one of the very few spaces where I felt like Ella can be absolutely Ella, and it ain't no like, oh, that's crazy. And even if I did say something crazy, it was still cool. Like, that is just Ella. So it was like I could just be me, and that was important to me. Like, having somebody like Fran, where I'm used to being the strong friend all the time, and now I got somebody who matches that strength, and we can pour into each other. It ain't just she dumping on me and I gotta take everything. It is a reciprocal type friendship, and I appreciate that. Like, we're literally like sisters. And my mama said that from the jump. Like, I couldn't have had y'all at the same time, because y'all would have wrecked my brain. Like, y'all would have been trouble. And she wasn't lying.
She wasn't lying. Just like Ella said, that it makes you rethink things. All of us have siblings here, and all of us love our siblings dearly. Like, they've been around our family, we've been around their family. She has brothers and everything, like, even down to her brothers, like, what's going? You be like, wait a minute, hold up, pump your brakes. Like, don't tell that one that, you know. Even like down to Pat's family, like his grandmother and his grandfather and, you know, his aunts, they have all just have, you know, welcomed us and love us and ask about the kids and have poured into our kids, and they were included. Like, okay, you know, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, and they were there. It is really a God ordained situation. Them two being alike, and then me and Pat, we get in trouble because we so much alike, and then we be just doing stuff and they be like, what y'all doing? But no, literally, like having an additional sister, like that you can call on to pray, that you can call on when you're sad, or in those quiet moments. I remember reading something that says those who really know your silence better than you do. And when I'm silent, she knows. So it's just certain things that she knows. Like, you know, it ain't all been peaches and cream. So I want y'all to get on here and think that, like, we didn't try. We didn't try not to be friends. It don't work. That's how I'm telling y'all. We didn't. It's a God thing. Like, it's a real relationship. Yeah. Like, no, y'all not doing it. This is what y'all have to do. This is what y'all are going to do. And let's go.
As y'all was talking, I don't remember the exact scripture, but when Jesus' mother and brothers come and they like, hey, your mama and your brothers out there. I'm putting it in the inner city version, right? Hey, your mama and them out there. And he's like, who is my mother? Who are my brothers? Those who do the will of my Father. And that is why I feel like everything we said is key, but the foundation, and I know y'all all agree, is God. It is being disciples. It is a standard of not only us and what we want to be, but what God has said it should be. Whether we agree, which we do, or when it's time where it's like, we got to do this the right way, right? And so I do feel like that was why God was intentional about putting us together, because he's like, y'all have this standard of excellence according to my will. Y'all have a standard of excellence y'all trying to achieve according to my will. So I'm going to bring you together, and it's going to be a spontaneous, organic connection that is inseparable. So yes, you got your mother, your father, your brothers, and your sisters, but also these are my brothers, right. These are my sisters. And that's how we know that this is godly, but this ain't normal, because it's a lot of people out there who they can't go through thick and thin. They can't go through, you know, they don't understand the dynamics of, hey, we might not be doing the same thing, but it's the same level of expectation, same level of excellence, but it don't start and end with us. It starts and ends with God. And I really know we want to be as God has called us to be.
I got a question. I got to ask y'all this. So from what you say, friend, August, you said 11, we gonna say 11 years ago. So since then to now, what's something that has changed about our perception of one another? What's different from then till now?
A real sisterhood. Like, she get on my nerves, I get on her nerves. You know, at the beginning it's all like, oh yeah, honey, we making coffee and we got a friend, and yeah, we singing, you know, you got a friend in me. And then, you know, then like it's some stuff that you be like, what? Like, literally, me and Ella, like, well, girl, you get on my nerves. All right, we'll figure this out later. I'll call you back. Think about that. But, you know, like, it's a real, it's authentic. We didn't carry that on to keep on a mask to keep each other. And I think that the mask was off, even though we tried to keep it on because we didn't want to get hurt, because we had already experienced that in other relationships. So we did try to keep that barrier or that wall up, but it was just like it just came out of nowhere. We couldn't keep it up. So it is from then until now, I think my perspective, I don't think it has changed. I think that no, we don't talk as much. The distance is there, but like I just look at Ella like she my sister. Like I don't think this perspective has changed though.
Yeah.
I would say, for me, the intentionality to walk out what we do internally now expose it externally. And I'll be even more specific. This intentionality to be the light, be the city on a hill together and walk out this thing in front of people. We all got gifts. We all have talents. We all know, for the most part, like we still stuff we uncovering, but there's now this intentionality in our walk with God, with each other, to now go forward and do what we do. So I said this a while ago. I don't know if y'all remember. I said, Pat, you the Aaron to my Moses.
Yeah.
I remember saying that in that house. And I only speak at that time. I wasn't speaking like that. I was just kind of whatever. And but I truly, and I remember saying this. Like, I'm not saying you got to do what I say, because as we know the story, like Aaron led in places till Moses got up to speed. But there was this connection, right? And I feel like now God is saying all the stuff that's happened over these 11 years, personally, in each individual, in our marriages, right? In our combined relationship, in our kids' lives, just everything, the ups, the downs, the tragedies, the super successes. God is like, I didn't put this friendship here to just connect around those things. I put it here to connect in these things so it can expose out. I don't know if that makes sense, but, and so I feel like we have been, Pat say teeter-tottering, you'll say tiptoeing. We've been tiptoeing around the purpose that God has called us to operate in together. And now it is like this big unveiling, this ripping of the bow ribbon. Let's go. That's what I feel.
I was gonna say, like, it feels, not even feel, there is a knowing now. God can trust us with our relationship now. Like, there's a trust to do. I trust that y'all have learned the lessons that y'all need to learn between this group that I formed. Now y'all can go. I feel like we call it, we teeter-tottering. I say dancing around the bush. We done all of this for years. But I really feel like it just served as training, because we have been through some things now. As a collective, we've been through things as couples, as you say, like raising our children, all of these things. We've experienced life together, apart. We've had to share things, and we've had to overcome things. We had to pray through some things. We had to spend time apart, get mad at each other, come back, and I just really believe that God is saying, now I can trust y'all with exposing y'all's relationship, because you'll treat it as the gift that it is. Because sometimes, when you've got this connection with people, you just treat it as if it's not a gift, as if it can be dismissed or easily dismantled. But I believe we knew from the beginning, like, not this. And even when times were hard, it was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I can't believe we're not talking right now. But we stubborn. Me and Fran, we stubborn. So even though we're stubborn, okay? We're stubborn. So it took time. But I believe that was a part of the training. Like, come on back. Put your ego aside. Go on and dead that, because y'all crazy. But I got something for y'all to do.
I miss my friend.
It's so funny. Let me tell you. So, me and Ella had this little falling out, like a little sister. It was like a real life sister fallout, to the point, but our child was still going to their house, and her brother told her mama, Urban ran to the house, but I thought Ella and were talking, and her mama said, "Child, that'll be all right." That's what I think about it. Where my grandchild? Like what? Like it was a real life, or like we was calling the siblings. Like her brother calling me, I'm calling. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with her. Like real life. Nobody was paying no attention though.
I'm sneaking
Yeah.
text messages.
Trying to see what the temperature was. Like, you good? Like, homie, you good? Yeah, I'm good. We good then.
Funny because even through all of that, her mom and her brother was like, y'all both crazy. We laugh about it, but it taught us how to barrier through things and communicate and not barrier through things and get over it, okay, and then this ain't gonna work, but like and still be in relation with each other and say what you're needing and hearing what the other person is saying. And even though we calling each other out like both of us are stubborn, but like things like what she needed and not giving her what I wanted to give her, or vice versa. So during that time it was tough, don't get me wrong, but it was a learning curve.
Can I say something about that?
Miss me.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Go on and say it, friend. I missed you.
I ain't ashamed to say it.
I missed you too.
I think the cool thing too is about not just our relationship, but especially our relationship with God, is that we, like, I always have this saying that we always have to continuously learn. We have to always be students.
Yeah.
Even though we may have all this knowledge about certain stuff, or just ourselves, things do change amongst us. Things do happen, and we still have to still learn and still try to understand each other, and everything. And even with the Word of God, it's like we still, we know some things, but we don't know everything. And I think I was listening to Tony Evans one day, and he's been doing ministry for over 50 years. Long time. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing, he was saying that I've been doing this for so long, and I still haven't reached the surface of what his word is. So it's like he can preach a sermon on one thing 1 year, and then 2 years later go back to the same scripture and preaching a whole totally different subject and for different stuff. So I think with just our relationship is just continuously learning from each other. And even though we still have those foundational concrete values, we still have an openness to still incorporate certain new things into our lives, that because we are changing, we are going to different stages with us, just like our children is. They go into different stages. We got a 16-year-old that's about to be out from college in 2 years, so that's a different time frame, and and going from there. So just continuously learning from each other, and have an open heart for each other, and have grace. I think grace has been very key to our relationship. It's just, okay, this is where they at. Hey, you got something going on? Hey, I'll give you some time. If you need me, we here. We can do it. We can go through this together. So
Yeah.
That's good. You mentioned grace. Ella, you mentioned training. But we all agree, like, God is like now. So God has been giving us grace so that we can learn and we can grow. Now he's like, my command is still what
Right.
it is. So now my question is specifically for City on the Hill, which, again, this is all four of us. What is he calling us to do?
I think to serve the people, show that there's still joy in longevity, and with longevity comes you learning different things, and longevity comes with struggle, but it's the commitment, showing what that looks like, and love, and doing things in love, and leading in love, just and being a light wherever we go.
I say being relatable. I think that's like just know like, hey, we real people. We got real struggles, just like other people, just like y'all that's out there looking at us and listening to us. Hey man, we go through some stuff. Ella was telling me something the other day. I didn't like her. She didn't like me, but we hit. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, it's Tuesday. It's life. I mean, it happens. But just to be like, hey, we trying to be like these theologians to the point like we don't have no sin or we don't fall short. Mm-hmm. Hey man, I think you said on your songs, Vars, is, you know, I think he said you're not, and I'm paraphrasing, you said something about not trying to be perfect, but you're striving to be. Maybe I'm saying that the wrong way.
I'm trying to remember the bar in my head, but I know exactly.
But you know what I'm talking about. See, I listen.
Well, no, I said my purpose ain't to be perfect.
Yeah. So,
but I'm still.
We're still working. So I think just continue just to be like, you know, just relatable and and have compassion for each other and have compassion for everybody else. Like, I mean, hey, you can do your thing, but hey, man, listen, God still loves you. God, you know, we don't want you to keep doing the same stuff over and over again. We don't want to keep doing the same stuff over and over again. But, you know, we should be able to come together and have compassion for each other, and two, be like, all right, what can we do to help so you won't do that again or won't fall again? And I mean, it's inevitable. But being relatable, being like, hey man, okay, you can be touched. Like, hey man, you real cool. And just understand that, hey man, we love you just as God loves you. So
yeah, I think redemption. That's what I think all four of us in our individual journeys, I think we could all come to the table and share a redemption story. Like, we know that God's hand of redemption is real, because you're looking at 4 people, 2 couples who have not gotten life right all the time, have messed up over and over and over again, and God just reaches out as we open up and we say, look, I don't like it over here. I done messed up. I don't like it over here. Please take me back. Mm-hmm. And he does every single time. And so I think when you look at or you listen to the 4 of us as City on the Hill, being a light and showing that redemption is possible, because everybody got personal historical references where you know your life was trash. Like, you did some trash stuff and you said some trash stuff, and if God don't keep you right now, you gonna say some more trash stuff. You will do some more trash stuff. Like, we're capable of being trash more than we're capable of being good. So we need a good God that will keep putting out his hand of redemption. And I think that that's what this represents, is that there's a good God that looks at us as we have expressed so many things that are not like him, and he said, I still choose you. I still want the 4 of y'all to come together. I still want y'all to speak my name. I still want y'all to love on people. I still want y'all to share my word, because you're not the common choice. You're not going to be what everybody thinks you will be, but you're my choice. And you're for somebody. Somebody is going to look at this and say, I see myself. And they will know that God loves them just because they see something that's relatable. Like Pat said, you see real people.
Y'all know me, I gotta capture it. You said commitment, relatability. I just had it. I knew I was gonna mess it up. Redemption. I think all that is true. But Pat, when you brought up what I said in the bar about, you know, my purpose ain't to be perfect, I remember somebody was like, why you said that, this and that, and I was like, well, I meant like this and that. And that is true. But the same God that is graceful is the same God that is like, my standard don't change. And so I feel like what City on the Hill is to be that light to expose God's glory, God's redemption, God's relatability, the commitment he has to us and the call he has for us. But also there's a call to be better. There's a call to live holy as I am holy. Those things have not changed. And so in everything that y'all saying, I think the other thing is calling this to excellence. And that is what we try to do in our lives, first and foremost. That's what we try to do with people that we see and be around every day. But that's what this is. City on the Hill is like, but there's a standard that we got to uphold in our conversation and our topics and our transparency. We're not better than, right? But we're still disciples. And the disciples had a mission too. So while they're learning, they're growing, they're training, it gets to a point of now go do. And so I do believe that is the other piece. And I feel like it fits with everything y'all saying, the commitment, relatability, redemption. But now there's a go.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw out some stuff. Told y'all didn't know what I was going to pass. When I say these words, I'm going to do like the pastor. We going to close. We about to finish. We got an hour left. Now
I ain't going to hold you. I'm going to hold you.
So I titled this, What is the Lord Doing in and Through Us? But I'm going to throw out these words and just first thing to come to your mind as it relates to City on the Hill. Process of molding. How is God using City on the Hill personally or in the future of molding? I'm going to throw it out there and then I'm going to let y'all go. Counterculture.
Okay. Get out people's head.
Right.
I was saying reshaping mindsets and how we experience culture, how we perceive. So yeah, that's along the same lines, like shifting our thought process, what we think, what we believe, so it'll point back to him, because he's the creator. And I feel like people forget, like, he did this. We went nowhere around when he did this thing, and we trying to make it and mold it to be what we want it to be. But he's saying, nope, get back to my standard, because my standard is better than yours. It's always been better than yours. So I think just reshaping and shifting our thought process back to the one who did it all in the beginning.
I think really walking out life, not defining who God is, not trying to put a name to it, but just really walking with him. I think sometimes when we were younger, we created this. Like, I remember telling our daughter Jada, I was like, and it sounds funny what I'm about to say, but listen to what I'm about to say. I told her, I don't want you to know the God that I knew, that I thought I knew. I want you to know the God that I know now. What I meant by that is, it was so religious based. It was so traditional. And I don't even really think, like, I knew God because I knew I had went through some things in my life and he had brought me over. But the things that I was doing, it was like a check mark. Okay, I went to Sunday school today. I was the Sunday school secretary. I'm on the praise and worship team. I'm on the dance team. Like, it was like I was trying to check box my way into heaven, and that's not what it takes.
I'm gonna say that real quick, Pat, before you go.
No, I'm fine if I don't.
Okay, all right, babe, you got the next one. You gonna start the next one. But you said, like, I want you to know. I thought you were gonna say something else, but what you said was good. I thought you was gonna say, I don't want you to know the God I know. I want you to know God for himself. But what you said is key. Cool. But I'm finna take what I thought you were gonna say. In Old Testament Torah, the way it's translated is the Lord thy God, or the Lord my God, or the Lord your God. And you'll be like, if you're a person like me and you just like words matter. Like, why is it captured like that? Right? but it's making God personal. And they'll say like the God we serve, to make a clear distinction between themselves and others. Also, when Moses was giving them commands, you will obey the Lord your God. You will do this because of the Lord your God. You will not follow false idols according to the word of the Lord thy God. Like, there's this calling of connection and relationship. So I don't want you to just know of God, which just means deity. I don't want you to just know of Elohim. I want you to know him. Right? So, and obviously that's what Christ is. I came for that personal relationship to redeem, restore, but so you can have that intimate relationship. So anyways, when you said that, it just sparked a thought. All right, I'm done.
I was about to say, like, relationship, and I was listening to that this morning, like, this whole idea of, like Fran said, I gotta work my way, I gotta check boxes off, I gotta go to this place every week in order for you to be satisfied with me. And all of those things, I believe that God appreciates. I believe he appreciates. But more than that, do you love me? Do you know me? Like, do you know how much I love you? And like you said in the Old Testament, like, they used to name stuff and places by their experience with God. So like even with Hagar, when she said, I'm gonna call you Elroy because you're the God who sees me, because he did something for her. Like he did something that nobody else could do. So she knew from that experience, okay, God sees me. He's the God who sees. So we even speak these names and we know these places and these phrases because people's experiences with God. So what are our experiences with God where we can say, man, I've been walking with him and this is what he did for me. This is how I know him. So I don't got to check off a box or I don't got to do this. Although those things have its place, religious activity has its place, but relationship is where we want to be. Like that's the goal. Like I want to be in deep relationship with you, even closer than I am with my husband. Like I want to be in that relationship with you because I can talk to you. You gonna comfort me, you gonna hold me, you gonna correct me, you gonna do all these things that a relationship that we see in the natural plus more. You do it all because you're the creator of these things. That's the only way that we get to experience it with one another is because he does it. So our experiences with him dictates that relationship. And we do these things because we experience him. You go to church because I want to fellowship with other people. You know what I mean? You pray however many times or you pray without ceasing because you know, like, I can go to you. I listen to gospel music because it fills my cup. If it's good gospel, I'm listening to it. It fills my cup. It adds to like that spiritual connectivity. But I do all of these things not for religious purposes. I do it because of my relationship and experience with you. We do because we believe and we experience, not because we feel like if we don't, we gonna get in trouble and we ain't gonna make it in.
That last chapter of the book, I'm gonna just say it like that. First time I said this, but I'm gonna say it with everything that y'all said. Relationship should drive our religion. I'm gonna go into the next one, Patrick. What the Lord is doing in and through us when it comes to identifying or using our giftings.
Say that again.
Identification of giftings.
Okay. What is the Lord doing? You say basically what the Lord's doing with our gifts.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I think you really want us to keep things simple. Like I'm a very simple guy. So I feel like my spiritual gift is serving. I'm a servant. That's just been my whole thing. If I see something or I see a need or if I need or say if we got something going on and then hey, let me help out. I'm there. Like I'm a servant. That's just my stop, friend. That's a whole different another story. Stop that. That's a different story. But that's just the type of person that I am.
We gonna tell y'all in a minute.
So I think if we try to just keep it simple and try to just figure out like okay, God, I know that you put this in me. how can I use my gift to be able to either disciple your children or to or to just do what you need for me to do in the best way that God wants you to do it.
You want to tell the story while we were laughing?
Okay, so I was laughing. They're probably laughing at another story, but I'm gonna tell y'all the story that I'm laughing at.
Okay.
That really solidified their relationship. So we had come back from overseas.
I knew it.
And my husband, he's a technology person.
Over with.
I just like TV.
He like technology. He like TVs. He the person walking Best Buy knowing we ain't got $50 million and to be standing there. And I'm like, why are we standing here? You making yourself hurt. You know we ain't got this kind of money to do this. Why you even looking at it? We ain't even getting it.
The bigger the better.
But anyway, this was a TV that Javaris had purchased and he wanted it hung up. We had just got back. And so I don't usually help. And I know why I'll help. Because I know my husband. So they're trying to put up the TV. But I'm seeing their body language. So Bar is trying not to holler at Pat like he Irvin. And Pat trying to be like, I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah.
So, Bars really want to say, hey, Pat, man, come on, pull it up right here. Don't touch the screen. So I'm listening. Me and Ella at this point, just like, we already friends. But this right here is going to, if they can get through this, they can get through anything. And sure enough, they got through it.
But that conversation,
And they held
I think what you don't know is when we left, I said, Ella, I ain't doing this ever again. Like, if you want to do it, that's fine. I ain't doing this. No. You don't talk to me like that.
I told him. And I was sitting over
said,
there like,
man.
I wonder if Javaris said something to him like, hey, I ain't mean to come off like that. But at that point, I was like, either we friends or we ain't. But
like, we came back. Yeah.
I was gonna eat my nachos and see how that played.
correct. And waiting for my crab legs. I'll tell.
Hold on. Cause so we can move forward. I don't want to be misrepresented.
Right, go ahead.
Yes, that happened. But because it was the fact of I'm not a perfectionist, I'm not claiming that, but I do like things done a certain way. And so for me to even open up and be like, can you help me?
Yeah.
And that was,
It was
I won't say it was a lie. I trusted Pat, so that's why I was like, hey, would you help me? But now that we in it, I'm like, there's a way that I want to do this. And we know Pat is going to talk you through everything. I'm like, bro, I don't need to talk. I just need you to do what I'm telling you. But that's him. He's serving. He's like, so what do you need? Like, what do you need? Like, and I've come to appreciate that gift.
yes.
But at that time, that was the first time we did something that was really in my lane. And it's like, don't mess this TV up, bro. Like, don't put your hand on the TV, hold it here, just do what I'm telling you. And so I had to remember, not only am I talking to a grown man, I'm talking to my brother. Because if it was Irvin, it'd be like, boy, up. That's like, come on. That's how I would talk. I can't do that, but I'm like,
I need some white gloves or something, man. I'm like, God, Lord. I'm just holding it.
We said all that to say, I think we have come to appreciate our gifts. So
Yes.
I don't know if y'all had anything.
It fits me.
Yeah, all about like that. I forgot that one.
That was funny.
That's why I was laughing.
Man,
That was funny.
that was funny.
So I'm gonna ask you this, and then Ella, I'm gonna ask you the last one. All right, don't look.
I can't even see over there.
She trying to sneak. She trying to get an early start.
What the Lord is doing in and through us, as it relates to opportunities. And you can take that wherever you want.
It's an opportunity for us to show others who he truly is. Yes, we're human, but we also have a standard and we striving for excellence. Like, we're not just out here like, oh, I'm human, so I'm gonna get the wild out today. But this. Like, it's really a struggle to strive for excellence.
Yeah, it ain't no,
On a day, it's
I'm
not
holy and hood. It
right. Ain't
that.
no half holy, half hood. Ain't no nuck if you buck over here. Like, none of that. Like, it's really a conscious decision, being intentional. Did I say that right? Did I look at her right? Did I think the right thing? I don't want to say anything because it may be the wrong thing. Then that's when you come to, is it factual or is it your
Yeah.
feelings? Or is it God? Because even though it may be factual to you and your truth, again, your truth, it still may not be the truth based off of how you're feeling. Like, it's a lot of thinking that goes on. And I'm gonna be honest with you, for a person, I'm a real easygoing person. Like, I'm kind of like Pat, don't make things complicated. Like, it's either black or white. But it's a struggle for me to keep that. I have to stay in conversation with God throughout the day. If I veer off, when I find myself veering off, then I see where those thoughts can get tainted. Those feelings can come. And I have to really stay grounded and rooted, like church music playing in the background, me thinking about, oh, I have Bible study on Wednesday. Like, I have to
Spiritual discipline.
Yes, I have to spiritually discipline myself because I'm such a I can be overpowering because of my personality, and I will allow my emotions to take over, if that makes sense. So I have to say no emotion, spiritual. What you said, God, not what you said, friend, but what did God say? You may feel like this. You may be, the world may say you're valid in your approach and what you should do. It's a lot of things that we may be valid in, but should we
Right.
do it?
Gotcha.
So really staying, it's a day, and like I said, honestly, it's a daily struggle that I walk in to strive for excellence and to serve, because that's not my natural personality. My natural personality as being a human being is not, oh Lord, let me pray about this. And I know people laugh at me all the time when I say that. Like, I find myself, if someone is saying something to me that I can't digest, saying those things out loud, like, Lord, please guide my tongue so I can really, and someone may think that I'm playing, but I'm really serious. Like, I need you, God, in this moment to guide me and be my ears, be my eyes, and be my tongue, so I can respond how you would respond and not how I would respond.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's an alignment. So definitely the opportunity to steward, steward others, be light, but also walking it out. So that leads to the last question, and I'm just, for the sake of time, I'm just gonna go to one person. Ella, what are upcoming light productions? And when I say productions, take it where you want, but I'm more so what God is calling us to produce.
It's a good question. When I hear production, I'm cautioned, but God put us here to produce, right? He put us here to produce and create. And I believe that He imparted that to us. I think going forward, I just go by what I believe in my whole heart, with my whole heart, is that we will be used in such a way, and I mean in a very positive way, where we will impact a lot of people. And I believe that it'll come in whatever form, whatever opportunity presents itself, we'll know when that is. I think we said this the other day in our conversations with each other, that we're open and we're willing, and God can work with that. Like, God can produce through a willing vessel. He can produce anything for his will, for His glory, with a willing vessel. So being that we're open and we are ready, and that we have, I just believe that we share this genuine love for God that has to be exposed. That is literally why I believe we are sitting on a hill. that genuine love has to be exposed, and it has to be exposed amongst people of our generation, because I really believe it's not about how long you've been in something, how long you've been doing something. It's really when God say you ready, it's go time. And I think for us, I know for us, I believe for us, it's go time. So it's whatever he will allow, whatever he wants to insert, and wherever he wants us to go, we're willing. I'm gonna say that we willing.
I'm gonna close with this. City on the Hill is the word that God gave our group to be called, and it comes out of Matthew 5, verse 14. If we go straight to it, it says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." And verse 15, "Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." That is what we are. We are light. We didn't create the light. God created the light in us. And so what this is, what we are, Pat, Ella, Javars, Francis, City on the Hill, we are seeking to produce light. That is Christ. That is given and formed and created by God, the God. And we're going to do that. We're going to do that through conversations. We're going to do that through service. We're going to do that through light productions, whatever he says do. We got some things that we'll probably speak about, but it's not about us. It is ultimately to shine the light so people can, as it says in verse 16, so they can give glory to the Father, and lives and souls can be saved and bettered. I'm happy about this. I'm happy that we did this. This is the first episode. We gonna grow, and we gonna, and when I say grow, it's gonna grow as God needs it to be. We ain't talking about numbers. We talking about just the conversation, the exposure that God wants, and we're gonna grow, and the light is gonna grow.
Yeah.
So.
Listen, I'm excited. I think we can echo that. I think we've been saying that for a minute. Like, we're excited. It's just a different feel when you come to the table and you know, like, God, you doing a thing. Like, it ain't you. It's not, when it's not you, you know that it's something special. Because, and I think, Vars, you said this throughout our conversations recently, like, it ain't something that I would normally do. Like, so I know it's God because it ain't something that I would normally do. And I like that you read the fullness of that scripture, because I feel like we have put our light up under something. We have hidden ourselves and covered ourselves and kind of step back, or we'll start and then we'll stop. We've done that long enough, and it's just past due time to make him known, let him use our voice. And I'm just really, really excited that we are that chosen vessel.
Well, let's do this.
Let's go.
Well, let's do it. Well, this is City on the Hill, City OTH, signing off. You already know what it is.